What is up, my buttery biscuits? Y'all, it's been a hot minute since I've done a my thoughts and opinions video about a full makeup collection. And since this Twilight collection came out, honestly, I missed it at first and probably I should have done this before. But at the time of me filming this, it's currently pretty much all sold out on the Colourpop website. The only reason why I'm making this video is because I know that Colourpop will restock it. I feel like with a lot of their collections being, I think that they have their own manufacturing company, they pretty much get their stock filled back pretty fast. So I remember specifically with the very first Sanderson sisters, or oh my gosh, everyone was roasting me too when I did like a full-on review of that palette, Hocus Pocus. Everyone was like roasting me because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a big fan of the movie, and genuinely I am, but like I didn't know their names at all. Everyone was literally roasting me in the comments. I was like, I love the movie, doesn't mean that I'm gonna know every single character and every single, like, you know, object in the movie's name. And I'm just like, yo, I'm so sorry, especially coming from me. I'm somebody who forgets a lot. Anyways, Twilight specifically, this seems to be a huge divide. There is a good chunk of people that absolutely hate this collection. There is a good chunk of people that absolutely love this collection. A lot of people are complaining that the palette just doesn't fit the color story of you know, Twilight, and why isn't there a red in there? Obviously we're going to go into the full details within today's video. I just have to say though, I think it is kind of cool because I am a fan of Twilight. Even though looking back at it recently, I rewatched the very first one, and y'all, I remember when Twilight first came out and I was like so obsessed. I thought it was like so interesting, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so mysterious and so romantic, and oh my gosh, like I can't wait to find a love like that. And I look back at it and I'm like, y'all, that movie's low-key kind of corny, but I still really love it. Especially like looking at the older one, I'm like, y'all, the CGI and everything is just kind of bad. I was like, for a big old book like that, and for the fact that it came out with so many movies, I'm like, it seems like they didn't really have much budget because that CGI is horrible, like really horrible. Anyways, we're gonna be going over the full collection on Colourpop. Like I said, at the time of me filming this, it is currently pretty much all sold out, but they will be coming out with a restock. I'm pretty sure if you guys follow Colourpop or purchase from Colourpop, you guys know that they do restock their stuff pretty fast. So anyways, we're gonna be talking about that within today's video. Make sure you guys go show some love to my podcast. It'll be linked down below, and let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that I do want to talk about is the Twilight eyeshadow palette, which retails for $24. Now, I want to say, me personally, I don't like the color story of this, regardless of, look, just keeping it real, even if this was fully on brand of Twilight, I still don't like the color story. It's just not my vibe. I feel like obviously it is very cool toned, and I think I told you guys this several times before. I'm just not a fan of like lots of cool tones. I do like the like green in there. The pop of green is cute. And then also I do want to say this shade, Immortal specifically, I think that shade right there looks absolutely beautiful. And I saw a video of Michaela swatching it, and y'all, it does look very, very shimmery. It looks really, really nice. But as far as for the color story though, obviously I get the cool tones being because, as you guys know, if you haven't seen the movie, it's just very, very like gray and overcast, you know, because obviously the sun can't hit them or else they turn into diamonds. So it's just very overcast where they live, which I want to say it's like Washington or something like that. So I get it that this is kind of like a cloudy palette, let's just say, but I don't know, I feel like they kind of missed the mark on it in my personal opinion. And I do agree with a lot of people online that there should be a red shade in it, being that it is a vampire movie. Do you know what I mean? But there are people speculating that they're going to come out with a part 2 that'll have a little bit more darky, grungy colors in there. This right here is just giving me, you know, I don't know, the vibes of the actual cover, the component of the palette. I feel like this just looks like that like foggy forest, you know what I mean? Which just isn't my vibe. Overall, I don't think it's a bad color story. It's just not my personal favorite. And to be quite honest with you, if I were to look at this color story alone, I wouldn't personally think Twilight. Do you know what I mean? I just look at this and I'm just like, eh, but it's just not my vibe. But obviously, if you guys like cool tones, I think that this will be a good palette for you. Moving on into the next things here. I want to go ahead and talk about these highlighters, actually, the Super Shock highlighters. I have done like several reviews of them because I used to be on Colourpop's PR list. I have to say, I'm not a fan of these. Like that putty texture, I feel like it dries out so fast. If you guys have had their Super Shock eyeshadows, it's the same type of formula. And I feel like any little bit of air that gets in there, and y'all, I remember specifically like closing them so tight. And I feel like within a month to 2 months, they dried out and got like weird. It's almost as if the whole pan was going to fall out of the component. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not a fan of these. I did see Michaela's review of this, and honestly, y'all, I was expecting so much more from it. Like, I'm like, I think that they should have came out with a whole new formula, being that vampires in the movie, obviously, as soon as the light hits them, they turn into like diamond skin, like super bright and reflective. I really do feel like they should have came out with a whole new unique formula to introduce to their line. I think that they could have came out with something that was going to be a little bit more shimmery and just a little bit more blinding. This, to me, in my personal opinion, just, I don't know, kind of, I don't know, it kind of missed the mark in my personal opinion. I just feel like that formula specifically, like, pretty much you have to use it with your fingers. Like, if you use it with a brush, it's really hard. Like, you have to like dig into the product. I'm just not really a fan of the Super Shock highlighters. I feel like for the eyeshadows, I like them because I would just take my finger and then swipe it on the eye, and that's what I did with it. I do want to say though, the shade Vampire Skin is just not my vibe whatsoever, but I do like the shade Meadow. That does have like a weird like duochrome like reflectiveness to it. It is pretty, but once again, I just don't like the formula of the actual Super Shock highlighters. Especially, you guys know how I am this day and age. I just don't wear any type of highlighter because y'all, I just have this texture right here specifically that I don't like, and whenever I put on a reflective highlighter, it just emphasizes that texture, and I don't like that. Let's go ahead and talk about right here the lip oils, which I want to say, wait, is it a lip oil? Oh no, I am so stupid, y'all. I saw this dripping from it, and it's literally a body oil. It says a Soul Shimmering Dry Oil Mini. This retails for $12, and this looks cute. Obviously, this is not something that I would use. I do have to say, being that it is silver, I think that if you are tan, like, I feel like it's going to look a little bit too obvious. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's meant to have a silver reflectiveness to it because the whole shade is called like diamonds, which is like their skin. And obviously, they're very pale. But I do feel like if you are medium to dark, I don't know. I just feel like this could look a little bit, I don't know, kind of a little bit messy. Do you know what I mean? Like, say for example, if you're using like a silver eyeshadow, it's gonna look like it just fell all over you, as to where a bronze one or a tan one is gonna like really complement your skin tone. I think this right here is just pretty much for pale people, in my opinion. This is not a product that I would even buy. You guys know that I am not putting no body oil on myself. Y'all, I'm fat and hairy. I ain't trying to do that. Anyways, moving on. This is where I got a little bit confused, is because they came out with the lip oils and everyone was saying like, oh, maybe they're going to come out with a part 2 collection that is going to have a little bit more reds in it and darker colors in it to like kind of seem like, what's the name of that like group that was in the movie? Y'all, like, I haven't seen the last ones in a hot minute. The Volturi, I think that's what it's called. I rewatched the first one like maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and I don't think the Volturi was in it. Was it Volturi? Y'all, don't clock me, don't come for me, just like the Hocus Pocus one. People are going to be like, how do you say you like the movie and you don't know everything about it? I want to say maybe they are going to come out with a part 2, but I do feel like it is a little bit weird that they did incorporate some more red things, because if they were going to incorporate red within the second collection, then I think that they wouldn't have came out with this shade right here called Bells, which is the Luxe lip oil in red. I think that they would have just came out with something that's, you know, maybe a little bit more pink or whatever. Overall, though, I am curious to know how their lip oils are. The color of this does look nice, but I do want to say, in my personal opinion, I feel like $11 is not too bad of a price, but I don't know why. Okay, this is me obviously just making a huge assumption here. I feel like low-key this formula is probably similar to e.l.f. I don't know why. It's just giving me that vibe. But I do want to say this shade on the lips is 100% something that I would definitely wear and that I would like. Once again, this is in the shade Bells, but then they did come out with a Team Edward and a Team Jacob. Team Jacob is a black one that does have a little bit of shimmer to it, and then they did come out with a blue one, which is Team Edward. I have to say, in my personal opinion, I am not going to be putting a blue tinted lip oil on my lips. I just feel like, y'all, it's gonna look like you're like frozen over, like you're like Rose waiting for the lifeboat to come back in Titanic. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know about this. And then on top of that too, I don't know, like just blue with shimmer, and then the black I feel like could be cute, you know what I mean? Because sometimes depending upon your lip color, but I don't know, blue, I don't know. It's so crazy, y'all. Just keeping it real with you guys, to see myself throughout the years being on YouTube and doing makeup, and like to see how many years ago I used to get so excited over vibrant colors or crazy colors or like things that are different. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, the older I got, I'm like, oh, I've become such a plain Jane, like just neutral type of stuff. You know, that's why I'm like, oh, I really like the shade Bells because it's very natural. It looks like a tinted lip. Do you know what I mean? Like a natural tinted lip. And I feel like this blue one just throws me off, in my honest opinion. And you know what's really crazy? Like back in the day when I would wear like the craziest makeup, I would be like, oh, when I get older, I'm still going to be doing this. And I'm like, what happened to that? I changed. Also, they are coming out with graphic liners. I think that these are new. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't purchased from Colourpop in a hot minute. These are called the Graphics Ink Liner. They are coming out in 3 different colors. Once again, they're having a red one, which is called Vampire. And then they're having kind of like, is this like a dark emerald green? Oh yeah, actually on the swatch of this, the shade Forever looks really beautiful. It's like a deep, like foresty green with pretty sparkle to it. And on the eye model, this looks absolutely beautiful. Like I think that is really, really nice. Let me go ahead and take a look at this shade Vampire. Oh, you know what's really crazy? In the first picture, it looks like it would be red, but then on the eye model, it looks like a maroon type of color, which once again, I really like. I feel like this is really pretty. Let me know if these are new. I haven't tried them before. I remember when I was on their PR list before, they sent me a box of like all their ink pen liners. They were like a full-on pen, as to where this seems like it's a dip. These shades look really, really nice. There is a black called Coven. Oh my gosh, Coven too. Jesus. Every single time I see that word, I don't know why I want to say Coven. I don't know why. Coven. This shade is really pretty too. I do have to say, out of all of them though, my favorite is the shade Forever. And going over the list, actually every single product is sold out. So clearly this was a hit, even though it's crazy because looking at Trend Mood's comment section, a lot of people are like, no, this is just not it. And then there was even a Reddit forum about it saying like, this is not Twilight whatsoever. But I'm like, clearly a lot of people liked it. Also, I do want to say, to close out this video, there is a full collection that comes with every single product from the launch for $99. It says it's a $119 value. So if you guys are interested in the full collection, I 100% do think that they will be coming out with it again. And then it does say on the actual website, it says email me for when they are back in stock. So they do plan on coming out with a restock. I don't know. Overall, to me, in my personal opinion, I don't know. This is just, I don't know. I just think that it could have been a little bit more cool. Do you know what I mean? Being that it's like all vampire theme and Twilight is like such a big movie of our generation. You know what I mean? That I feel like they could have done a little bit more. But obviously I know their price points are very, very affordable. But I just look at things like Glamlight, for example. I feel like if Glamlight did a Twilight collection, I think that they would have done it way better. And a little bit more over the top and a little bit more on brand. Overall, personally, I just look at the lip oil. The lip oil is pretty much the only thing that I would like to try in the shade Bells. And other than that, I'm like, If I was doing crazy eyeliner and stuff like that, the shade Forever in the graphics ink liner, I think that is really cute too, especially for $10. My thing is about the lip oils though, I'm like, $11? Like, isn't that kind of expensive for Colourpop? Because I don't know, I feel like Elf, everyone loves Elf, but then I do see people saying that it is kind of heavy and a little bit sticky, and I'm like, that's not, like, that's a lip gloss. Do you know what I mean? So I'm curious to know about that. If you guys have tried out their lip oils, let me know. Let me know if there's another shade like that though, that's not specifically Twilight, because actually looking at the lip swatch of that, I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Overall, y'all, in my personal opinion, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a miss. I feel like they could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.